What a fantastic day to bring you Sport Pizza right here on this frequency where you get the absolute best in the ever exciting world of sports. My name is Brownson Wana, and of course, it's a pleasure. Now, last week we spoke about Maurizio Sarri in clear terms. I'm sure Juve listens to our analysis and he was given the boots. But Pirlo has taken over mantle at Juventus, and as far as the league is concerned, it's not Juve's problem. They want to dominate Europe. But can inexperienced Pirlo deliver that? When we come back from this break, Olakule Phillips will be giving us all the analysis, so don't go away. Welcome back. My strike partner, Olakule Phillips, joins me at this time. Kule, good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Brownson Wana. It's good to be here once again to talk sports. And just last week, you were talking about Maurizio Sarri, about the fact that he hasn't really done well for Juventus this season. And it looks like, just like you said in the introduction, if Maurizio Sarri had watched our program last week, you guys would never be friends, because I know that in the last few weeks, we've been talking about the bad performances Juventus has been recording, and really they haven't done well this season. Looking at the way they were ousted from the UEFA Champions League, a disappointing one for that matter. And like you also said, Juventus is not even, they are not particular about winning this Scudetto anymore. They've won it a lot of times, nine times on a bounce. What they want to win is the UEFA Champions League, which Maurizio Sarri has failed to give them. I
mean, I can't agree less with you, Olakule Philip. The truth is that Juve has won it all across the league, and some other Cashman Cup is concerned in Italy. Now, the most important thing right now is to win the UEFA Champions League. I mean, you can see 2 seasons ago, they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo to come and help do the magic. Ronaldo came, contributed a bit, and Maurizio Sarri, with the bounce coming from Chelsea, the hype was much, but he didn't deliver. But let's talk about Sarri a bit, Kule. Looking at his style of play, and apart from what he's done in Napoli, I mean, I personally wasn't pleased with his inputs in Chelsea. I mean, I saw Juve play the most boring football in recent time under Maurizio Sarri. Now, do you think the fault was from Sarri's style of play, or the players could not interpret his tactics?
I think that this is actually from his style of play. The kind of players he has there are vastly experienced. Most of them are household names in the football world as we speak. They are top class players, so they'll be able to interpret his style, the pattern of play, or his pattern of play easily. But I think he doesn't. Though when he was in Chelsea, yes, smooth football, tossing the ball around. You at times when Chelsea plays, you think it's Arsenal that is actually on parade. But this time around, I saw the Juventus of about 3 seasons ago. So Juventus are a team that dominates. They toss the ball around. They catch you on the counter. And they beat you well. They beat you well, hands down. But in the case of Maurizio Sarri, I think he has not done well in Juventus at all. Looking at the way Juventus played, even the 83 points they turned out is the lowest they've ever had in the last 9 years. It's absolutely disappointing, and what actually broke the camel's back was the disappointing loss they suffered against Lyon. They had everything going for them. It was just a 1-goal deficit in France. So at Turin, one would have expected them to get the job done. And Brownson, after the game, he said he wasn't so disappointed because he is of the opinion that the players play well. Come on, this is Juventus. This is not Napoli. This is not one of those small clubs.
He's not used to the Champions League terrain.
And someone said, he has never. This is his first ever trophy.
Yes.
As a coach.
I think, in my opinion, I think Juve might also be making another mistake. Pirlo has come in now as the new manager. Now, even though a lot of people want to say Zidane, when he took over the Real Madrid job, he didn't have much experience. Pep Guardiola, when he took over Barcelona, there was no vast experience. And I want to say when Mourinho also won his first league in Porto, no much experience, but of course he also understudied some other coaches. Arteta came from Man City, he has won FA Cup,
I'm happy you are saying that.
So, do you think that Pirlo can also spring that kind of magic?
Yes, he has what it takes to become great. And That is the opinion and the perception the management of Juventus are looking at things from. They're looking at the fact that between 2011 to 2015, remember he won 4 Scudettos with them. He also won the 2 Italian Cups and 2 Super Cups. So I think when you talk about experience as a player, you get it from him. And just recently, I think April 30th, he was appointed as the coach of the under 23 side, which never, he never played any game before. He was uplifted as the coach.
I think it was just a setup.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if Sarri had won against Leon, probably he would still have a chance.
It would have still been a gunpowder that would have exploded.
But for me, Brownson, just like you have highlighted, he's looking at probably modeling his coaching career around coaches like Zinedine Zidane. Just like you said, no experience. He came from the lower cadre team of Real Madrid, and he was appointed the coach, and he did a lot of magic. No coach, I can't remember any coach that has won 3 UEFA Champions League titles.
None.
As we speak.
Back to back.
So for me, he's doing absolutely well, and I think that Pirlo also has what it takes. But the question I have about Andre Pirlo is the fact that he is an introvert. He doesn't talk most of the time. He keeps to himself. But since he's been given the job right now, he will learn how to talk and speak, at the appropriate time. Because when the coaches and the players are not interpreting your style,
you have to talk.
You have to talk
because your job is on the line.
Your job is on the line. So I think I feel that Pirlo will succeed with Juventus.
All right. Also to mention that Andre Pirlo was one of the finest midfielder in his time. You would recall that in AC Milan, he won the league as well as going on to win UEFA Champions League. You understand European terrain. Maybe all those experience will get to count when the league resumes. I love Pirlo personally, but as a manager, it's a different ball game. I really can't wait to see. But Gattuso is doing very well, by the way, and Inzaghi, this with Lazio, doing very well. So, I mean, who says Pirlo can't succeed? Time definitely will tell. Now, let's move to England now, where Williams has confirmed that he's leaving Chelsea after 7 years marriage. They've broken that, Now, a lot of people have said that his decision is widely influenced by David Luiz. Don't forget that they have restaurants together. They're like friends from same country and all of that. There were lots of speculations that David Luiz influenced his decision to leave Chelsea. Now, I worry for him because I feel Arsenal,
Arsenal is what?
not like Arsenal is not good for him, but if looking at his age, for Arsenal to be giving him 3 years contract, I'm kind of worried. I don't know if that's what Arteta wants at this time. But, however, do you think that's it's a good move for Chelsea to have allowed him to leave a vastly experienced player like that?
I think the coach of the side, Frank Lampard, is so disappointed. He wanted him to stay, but the deal, the negotiations broke out because he wanted a 3-year contract and an improved weekly wages of about £150,000, which for me is good. And considering the fact that Chelsea are going to be playing in the UEFA Champions League next season, this will have actually been a very good one for him. But he wanted, just like you said, the David Luiz influence came to fore. And at times when the player is around 32, 33 years,
they're thinking of retirement.
Yeah, they're thinking about retirement, and they want a long contract to actually go their way, which Chelsea were not willing to give them. Arsenal were willing to give a 3-year contract, and as well, I'm looking at the weekly wages, which is just about £100,000, which is more preferable, 150 to 100. So that's why I feel there's a lot of influence in this deal. I am of the opinion that it would have been better for Williams to stay back at Chelsea because, firstly, the weekly wages is going to be like is more than what he's going to be collecting at Arsenal, and secondly, he has an opportunity to play in the UEFA Champions League. Oh. Well, probably we'll be looking at things from the perspective that yes, he's played quite for some seasons now in the UEFA Champions League, so it's not a big deal. then definitely it will be with us now. We'll be playing in the Europa League.
Europa, yeah. Well, for Williams, I think he's a very quality player. Williams 22 missed Chelsea's Champions League defeat by Bayern last Saturday with an ankle injury. We hope that he'll be fit for next season. Now, let's stick with England, where Liverpool have confirmed a deal for Olympiacos left back Kostas Tsimikas for a fee of around £11.75 million. Well, it's a defender that most people will say they're not really familiar with, but Liverpool went for him because they played them in UEFA Champions League and he was very instrumental.
Yeah, very instrumental. And the major reason why they're signing him is just for
a cover-up
as a cover-up for Andy Robertson, who for me has had no player has actually been competing with him in the left back for Liverpool all season. So his inclusion, and probably if the deal sees the light of the day, it will prove to be a very good competition for Robertson. For a team like Liverpool to go out for a player, definitely you know that he's got a lot of his sleeves. As we speak in the Greek league, he's one of the best defenders that you can talk about in the league. So if the light sees the light of the day,
produced 9 assists.
9 assists, so that it will be a very good buy for Liverpool.
It's a very good buy indeed. Let's see how well it fits into Liverpool's style of play next season. Let's take a very quick break, and when we come back, more transfer stories to come. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, lots of stories making the rounds, and I'm sure most people want to know what's happening in your clubs in the next 2 to 3 weeks. As a matter of fact, from now till next month, we'll be giving you lots of transfer stories so you understand the businesses your clubs are doing and the players coming in and moving from your club. Now, let's go to Arsenal. Now, where Arsenal are also in the agenda with the panel debating whether long-term contract for captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is ideal, and I really don't understand that debate. Aubameyang was your best player last season, and the guy wants a longer contract, and you're debating. I don't understand. That's not ready for business.
Bronson, it's normal to actually debate that, because once a player is around 29 and above,
I mean,
you know, it's cause for debate, because
he still got everything.
You know, they're talking about deals here. If eventually, you know, they believe that once you are around the age of 28, 29, 30, you are probably at the twilight of your career. Your game reduces, your move, your pace, and every other thing, you know, reduces. So they are trying to trade the path of caution, because in a few years, player who is around 29, 30 might just become weaker, and it might become
let me ask you,
might not be able to give in his very best.
Does Aubameyang look like a player that will be weak in the next 2 seasons?
That's not the criteria they look at things from. That's the perspective we are looking at things from.
So are you saying 3 years for Aubameyang? Aubameyang, your captain, that gave you the highest goal scorer, was contesting with Jamie Vardy. 3 years contract for him is too long? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not too long. Looking at the fact that Williams got a 3-year contract from the failures we're getting.
Okay.
So I think it won't be a big deal. I'm sure that everything, all parties will be happy.
I'm sure. I hope you don't wait to transfer deadline. All right, guys, still talking about some transfer stories. Manchester City interest for Napoli's Koulibaly has increased as we speak, and we also hear that Lautaro Martinez is also on the corner for him, you know, for some good deals. What do you think about Koulibaly to Manchester City?
It will be a good buy for Manchester City. If you look at the young man, he's an African, very strong and very energetic. You watch him play for Napoli, you will agree with me that he's really got a lot of his sleeve. So he will also be able to contribute a lot to the defense line of Manchester City. The agent and of course the management of Manchester City are actually in talks, and they're going to make their first table their deal, the price.
Yeah.
They're going to make it known probably by next week, and subsequently we are hoping that probably the deal will see the light of the day.
Now, the last black defender at Man City was Elikwan Mangala. Well, I don't want to say it was a flop, but we know how his career ended. We know how his career ended. But that's it. Let's hope that Koulibaly can get into a big league like that as well for Africans. He should be able to, win some titles. Now, let's go to the home front. Now, there've been lots of controversy rocking Nigerian football. This time around, it involved two legendary coaches that have handled the Super Eagles job, Joe Bonfrey and Westerhoff in loggerhead. Now, the Dutchman Clement Westerhoff is determined to clear his name for match-fixing allegation leveled against him by his former assistant, that former Super Eagles coach as well, took them to the Olympic and won title, talking about Joe Bonfrey. Now, there have been talks about, this is very scandalous. Now, Bonfrey Joe was widely quoted by the Nigerian media of having said in an interview with Sport Radio, Brila FM in April, that his former boss sold Nigeria's 1994 FIFA World Cup second round match against Italy. Now, listen to the allegation again. Now, Bonfrey Joe was also quoted as saying that Westerhoff sold the game for a fee of around $100,000. Now, Westerhoff has come out to deny that claim and said that he will go to court to clear his name. I mean, Kule, there's a saying that in every rumor there's an up tons of truth, but I really hope that in this rumor there's no truth in it.
Clemens Westerhoff has come out to say he's disappointed by the comment made by Joe Bonfrey. Bronson, remember that there's always been this battle, the rivalry between the two coaches. I remember back in the 90s, the early 90s, it was Westerhoff that got the job of the Super Eagles. That was when we were about to execute, I think, the game against Cameroon or thereabout, prior to the Italian 90. And that was when he got the job. Unfortunately, we lost that game in Yaoundé by a lone goal. And by virtue of that, we couldn't qualify for the Italian 90 after we defeated Cameroon here in Nigeria by 2-0. And years after, he brought in Joe Bonfrey. And Joe Bonfrey was his assistant. He brought in some other coaches. But somewhere along the line, they began to have issues, particularly after the 1994 World Cup. Both of them couldn't come back into the country. But Joe Bonfrey got the job of the Nigerian team.
The
Dream Team much later. And I also remember that at some point in time when Joe Bonfrey was in the qualifiers for the Atlanta 96, the qualifiers, we played against Zimbabwe while Clemens Westerhoff was the coach of the under-23 team of Zimbabwe as well. But Joe Bonfrey got the better of him. There's always been this battle, and I feel that it's uncalled for. Talking about Joe Bonfrey now, he's saying he's being quoted after a contest by the press. I don't agree with that, and that's why Clemens Westerhoff has actually gone to court to challenge him on that. It's a huge one, and I just feel that this will not be the truth, because Clemens Westerhoff said if he had defeated the Italians, it would have been the biggest achievement of his career.
Yes.
And this is what he has actually longed for. So he doesn't see no money is what that kind of achievement.
Yes.
So we went to see how things would pan out as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, these two guys have been in loggerhead for a very long time. We really hope that they will really sort this out, and really hope that that allegation isn't true, because it won't be good for Nigerian football. NFF is also dragged into this, whether you like it or not.
Absolutely.
NFF as well as the pedigree of our football. Now let's go straight to Formula One and tell you that Max Verstappen of Red Bull took a sensational surprise victory in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix to bring Mercedes dominance to an end. A very good one indeed.
Well, good one for the Red Bulls. I'm so happy for them. It was a great one. One would have thought that it would be Lewis Hamilton and Bottas who will actually, they've been touted to win it. And we've been talking about the fact that there's not been competition by other teams, looking at the fact that Mercedes have been absolutely dominant, but this is indeed a very good one from the Red Bull. I think they mapped out their strategy, and one would have thought that it wouldn't work because they use hard tires at the start, while other teams went for the medium tire, and definitely it really worked out for them. We hope that we will have such competition. It shouldn't just be Hamilton, Bottas, Mercedes dominating. We should also get some other teams also making things count.
Yeah, competitions like that make it even more interesting. There are lots of controversy rocking Red Bull right now, but we're not going to delve into it full time because of the limited time we have on the show. Now, let's go straight to tennis. It's good to know that Serena Williams has confirmed her availability for US Open, but defending champion on the male side, Rafael Nadal, says he won't be available to play in the US Open.
Everybody is trying to trade the path of caution. Remember, the US has the most hits as far as the COVID-19 is concerned. So I think it's more understandable if some of the big guns pull out. I think it really calls for caution. I feel that there shouldn't be any tennis event or any major event happening in America as we speak, because it's really very, very dangerous. Loads of people dying every day. But for Serena Williams, she's still gunning for trying to
meet up Margaret Court's record.
Yeah, Court's record, and of course eclipse that record. And that's why she's told everyone who cares to listen that she will be available if eventually the US Open sees the light of the day. Now, let's not also forget the French Open will also be taking center stage in September. I think towards the end of September. Probably by then, the French, the country, France as a nation hasn't been so hit like the United States as far as coronavirus is concerned. We hope that competition, talking about the Roland Garros, will see the light of the day. But for the US Open, I think it should be suspended for now. And
Serena Williams have also said that she'll be available for the French Open. So, I mean, she's got 2 Grand Slams to redeem herself.
Yes. And,
if she wins the French Open, she equals the 25 Grand Slam now.
No, she has 23.
23? She equals to 24.
24, yeah.
And then she wins one more in US.
She eclipses the record. That's what she's been gunning for.
That's our permutations, right? All right, let's go straight to London Marathon 2020 edition to be elite-only competition. Now, the 2020 London Marathon will only involve elite athletes, with 45,000 mass event runners unable to take part because of the coronavirus pandemic. The much anticipated contest between Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge and Ethiopian Kenisia Bekele will take place on a biosecure closed court. Now, reduced fields of 30 to 40 athletes will also compete for the elite women's and wheelchair competition, which take place on the 4th of October. Talking about precautions because of the pandemic. But I think marathon without that kind of crowd would, reduce the vibe in it.
Yeah, and most of the athletes have been complaining about that. It's always very interesting when you are being cheered by the fans, but because of the pandemic, that will not be happening, and that's why they've reduced the number of participants in this edition.
Some people have different reasons for watching tennis. Some will tell you they like the moaning of the women, and sometimes some will tell you they like the groaning of the men. Reasons why we watch sports sometimes.
Absolutely.
All right, with that, the wrap on Sport Pizza today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen. Feel free to drop your comments. We'll be so glad to hear from you. Olakule Philip, thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Always a pleasure to be here, Bronson. And we hope that next week when we come back, we'll also be looking at some transfer news from the Nigerian players who has been transferred to some clubs. We heard that players like Dennis Bonaventure is in the news. We hope that probably it gets to, gets a good transfer to one of those big clubs, and it will be good for the country.
I really hope so too. Now, don't forget to join us again next week. Until then, please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.